Erica Dawson's second collection of poetry, The Small Blades Hurt, was published by Measure Press in January. Slate says she generates great energy by pulling at the impossible and sometimes pleasurable tangles of what is constant in us and what is disposable in the world. Her first collection, Big-Eyed Afraid, won the 2006 Anthony Hecht Poetry Prize and was published by Waywiser Press in 2007. Erica's poems have appeared in Best American Poetry 2012 and 2008, Poetry, a Pocket Anthology, Harvard Review, Virginia Quarterly Review, and other journals and anthologies. She writes a column called Dark and Sinful for Creative Loathing, Tampa. So let's give her a warm welcome all the way across I-4, Erica Dawson.
That'll work. Hey, everybody. Hey, I'm tall, and I'm taller today. I was explaining to someone earlier that I have to read in heels. Like, I have to teach in heels, too. There's something about being flat on the ground that, even at 6 feet, makes me nervous. Thank you so much to Jared. I looked at Ryan and I said, Jared, thank you so much to Ryan for inviting me out, and to Jared, who is probably sleeping from afar, and to Borough Press and Functionally Literate, and to some friends from Tampa and other places who came, and UCF people, and everybody. Thanks for coming out and focusing on this instead of the guy in the bathrobe, who I think is pretty amazing. And feel free not to clap between the poems, because it makes me do this weird smile thing because I get happy and it looks really weird on camera. So we can just skip all that. This first poem is called Credo. As a woman, I have learned some men are really bad at whispering. As if their tenors can't be tempered, slight winds perhaps, more apt at fine seduction. Still, give me their manly lows, the broader pitch of O's, pharynx tremors, and hard G's. Now I've come to think their throats are coated red, bright red, engorged, a sinew of veins across their necks when they inflect a sound and swallow understood. Though something should be said for breath, in H, unseen in God, lipped in come here, my mouth is big. I think I'm ready for my manhood. The Temptress. When you called me that, I said I was born to be your Eve, your apple, your fatal femme. Adore your Mephistopheles, sweet boy, you've sold your soul. You leaned on the vanity and gawking watched me in the bath. So I thought love poems, pillaging epigraphs, oh man's first disobedience and this one yours. And if I scored a love poem, I'd invoke fair Aphrodite, say fuck off, then kill her dove-white swan because I'm prettier. Calliope would write our story in our own reflections on the steamy mirror. The words would form and drop just like a tear. Young, black, and boy, would I be beautiful. I'd sip on dry champagne and lick my lips. I'd burst the bubble on my hip and make a heart from a single strand of brown hair clinging to the tile. The heart would drip. You'd watch me tease with a dangling leg and the tub's white side. Sweet boy, call me angel. Watch me rise. My levitating breast would break the bath's salt skin. The handle fire exhaled, the fan kicked on, the crossbills nesting in the duct-duetted semi-breves. Here in our love poem, they'd be sirens singing Eve, oh Eve's a whore, because all epics need a villain, and boy, I'd hope to fall. But still, I'd float, its funneled water danced around the plug. And oh, the epigraph would toy with man's first disappointment, this one mine. The world without music. I listened hard and heard just splashes when you left the room for bed. So I stayed behind, the naked bard, all wet in an empty tub, the temptress dear, without device, without allure, and without you here. The next poem is called Brown Recluse from the Basement, and it has an epigraph from Philip Larkin, talking in bed ought to be easiest. But it's really talking to yourself, inside as cars pass by, high beams like April lightning, mist on your slat windows bending beams to bars broken, and only you, no accompanist, but the fiddleback over a game of whist, bid whist, big joker up. You're the champion's trickster, playing all the roles. You're the skeleton of a spider's web in fragile strands, breaks spun by a roving fan. You're picking up carrion crickets, cat-mangled flies that seem to twist into hysterics when the light bulb hissed itself to death. The glass bruises, the char's spreading. It's black, and damn it, you do exist beneath the ceiling's darkened stucco stars, or the sea anemone, or the coral reef of an averted ocean, when the crowd would pierce your body, or the crumpled sheaf of dog piss papers and the Berber threads. There's none unless you see it. Say it, darlin' hun. So you lie as if dead starfish fucked and kissed, legs spread, arms out. You're your clandestine tryst menage a un. You write yourself a list on Post-it notes, rustling in one tightened fist tossed aside. You're subterranean in your own words. You're Machiavellian. You're fine, big-voiced and mum, verbose and brief. Rain swells in flooded corners, stains near one soul on its side with a clinging maple leaf. The next poem is called Layover, which I wrote after spending a long weekend in Archer City, Texas, where the author Larry McMurtry is from, and where the book and film The Last Picture Show take place. So, Layover. I've half a mind to make a move. I stayed in Archer City, where I made Larry McMurtry proud by downing one too many shots of ice-cold vodka, tumbler-sized. I hollered every word of Sweet Home, Alabama, while the band reprised Knockin' on Heaven's Door, packed up and quit the Legion dance. I thought I didn't know that song. I two-stepped with a cowboy, kissed a Yankee, wrong, regretted it, so found my cowboy once again. The Yankee looking like a young Paul Newman, and the cowboy like I'll bed you hard and hot in jeans. What was it in the Texas air that brought Delilah out of me? Was it the quail and wild hogs? The barbecue cooked from a cow that tasted like a slaughtered cow? What hiked my temperature? It climbed the diving board and took its clothes off piece by piece, as if last May were my last picture show. Last chance to sweat with strangers in a spur hotel room, quaint with double beds and Byron on the table. Me as Sybil Shepherd in the lights for the first time, marking the stage, walking in beauty like the night, too much for such a little place, where the town Indian said she was the town Indian, and my sweet cowboy said I gave him eyes, said I was high-heeled trouble, said I have the tendency to lead. Little black boy heads. Up there lies a cowlick I just got to wrap my finger in, but can't. Their cuckabucks clip down to the root. Can't pry one strand loose with a pick. Though I could plant a kiss, perfect, On their round scalps, short threads like splinters on my lips. I'd rather fill a field with 1,000 little black boy heads, ascend a white oak high, and stare until their shorn cowlicks appear to swirl. No hair would move. Then, one by one, the heads would tease with growing spirals, hypnotized like air-embodied branches braced for liftoff. Please, you stubborn noggins, take your hats off. Someday when I have my own, I'll palm his skull and he will nap against my nipple. Thumb in his soft spots, I'll sing of how I cull him from a black field bound beneath a sky bright blue. A sun so yellow the whole spans blaze green. His always girl, I'll sing him fly boy, fly, then run away fast as you can. I hate when authors can't find their own poem. I'm sorry. If my baby girl is white, with an epigraph from Lucille Clifton, only white, hair a feather of fall leaves. If my baby girl is white, mama says what? Goes outside and splits oak. She brings the rope, chainsaw, and spikes, ties off a limb. She takes the black tree down. The trunk breeds red heart rot. It's too easy to say it bleeds. Inside, the umber fades from bark to tan to thin white threads. Branches die back. The wood spews conch. The kindling leaves dark ash. As unsound as a forest is, someone must slip and feel it. Someone sticks the dead. The lightning bugs thud in their Smucker's jars, and some mother at the screen must call lights out. A poem for Josephine Baker called La Revue Negre. That's me butchering French. The curtain's up, away, hey now I go. La vie en rose, ahem, bonjour et oh cabaret, look out, Puccini's oh mio bambino caro. I'll know the other words then too, and I'll sing Nina's woe in her sultry old blue moon indigo. With Johnny Cash, go make an Alamo in Reno. We'll up and kill a man. I'll sow Jimmy's cracked corn, and then Pinocchio it, wish upon a star. I'll row, row, row a boat, and fit the Battle of Jericho. But then, bravo, I'll give it up and throw it to my sidekick with the fine trousseau, Miss Josephine Baker. Two-woman show, expatriates, banana dances, whoa, Revue Negre, nature's black pearls, moi lo, don't touch our 4 tomatoes. We would tow the audience to our private chateau, brimming with leopards, liquor, curio toucans, and every latest Romeo. I've got to get a dog first, though, and grow pin-curled sideburns and learn to pose, tableau of taut breast and a navel apropos of Paris nightlife. Drop it hot, slow, low as bass. Tell Daddy Rice to tell Jim Crow to take his minstrel smile and open up real wide to suck our titties. Lo, how a rose air bloomed when you sang out, sweet Joe. You are our voice. Sing louder. Oui. Hello and enchanté. The bistro's spotlight glow will turn us into a dust seraglio and crown us sultans. Yes, Madame Tussaud could wax us. Yes, we'll get some more Merlot, Black Gypsy Rose. Don't stop your do-si-do. Please flaunt your gold chain hips. Work that bon mot banter. I'll make a keepsake video, and if you stop singing, I'll lip sync. Blow a kiss to our United States below the smoke that hovered with the mistletoe. to stay with music, can we get a round of applause for Al Green? Any Al Green fans? True story. I lived in Cincinnati and I was shopping at the mall, and I'm, carrying my bags and looking at stuff I can't afford, and all of a sudden Al Green is singing. And I'm looking around. I'm not by a music store, and Al Green isn't behind me. And this song is just coming out from just nowhere. So I look around and I figure out that he's coming out of the potted plants in the mall. There's like a speaker system hidden in the really sort of ugly looking plants. You can't quite tell if they're real or not. So I decided to write a poem about that. And it's called Speakers in the Devil's Walking Stick, which was the kind of plant that it was. I need a piece of chicken. Al Green is in the bush inside the mall. He's stricken me up. He's in the bush. Outside the Limited, Al Green is in the bush. I heard him. Listen. Did you hear the intro? Shush. You hear that I'm so tired of being alone? Wait, there it goes again. It's wired on cue, a hard yeah, rhythmic and blued. Al Green is in the bush. I want to dance a Balanchine ballet. He's nonchalant, he's attitude, he's smooth outside but limited, funky. I'll let him soothe me like an invalid who's got her legs back to life, because Al Green is in the bush like Mac the Knife, ready to cut the thin world's rug and turn it loose outside the Limited, down from Charlotte Roos, where every gothed out kid smelling of kush can prove his mama right and sing, won't you help me? Pop, lock, move, so cool with that devil bellowing. Listen, Al Green is in the house. He's in the fizz of fountain drinks, the bin of half-off thongs. His voice is perfect. He's in the Devil's Walking Stick and on the mannequin who suddenly craves dick because the mall is all possessed. Each potted plant croons soul like it's a tall black man who will enchant the naysayers, all shaking their heads saying they're always dancing. But soon, they're making their moves through tiled hallways, saying my feet can't fail me now, since sweet James Brown can slide right in. All tail feathers swaying, get down, go to the bridge, stop, push. This beat is like blackmail. Al Green is in the bush, and there's a sidewalk sale. Thank you. Just two more. This one is called Florida Funeral. The tussocks grow up tall, and June's hardcore as hell. Storm winds heave Christmas palms. The fronds life draft along a squall. Mosquitoes soar, and hinga snake. Run off bellies to stagnant ponds. The sinkholes never lose their quick. The sky disguises heat and dawn's abandoned rind. Haze shadows everything. No wonder I can see humidity has left me blind. It's been a minute since I've seen the sun in lightning bolts impelling docks to sparks. Each volt burns, so I look at every one and see 1,000 lights in 1,000,000 darks. Burned. This is how Florida leaves me. I know the reason why the river water stinks is its own weight, desire to overgrow, pervade the air. Though the channel calms its kinks, and tides know some part of the day is low. A gecko climbs, preserved in the veneer of oil. It's dead, and still, it seems to know I've got to get the fuck up out of here. What when the tussocks grow up tall enough to cover all evacuation routes? Interstates choke. I know I have to huff the smell of grass mixed with decaying roots of jackknife trees. The too wet soil heard danger and spills over when storms are tough enough to fuck me and the mockingbirds out of a flight. Sweet navels like it rough and try to steady. I'm trapped as the twat of yawning orange blossoms opened up, unassuming, to the toxic paraquat and its caution streaks. Birds shit in a lily's cup, June. My rills, too, are sick, June. When my skin reeks in its sweat, please do not make me claw out my own skin to find some air, June. Thin, I'm a moment's wind simpering at saw palms. You've already made a woman out of me. I cannot leave. Your heat hangs hot. Storms bury streets. I'm dead but not about to die as rising heat prepares to clot. Sinking humidity drops to the ground and heats again. What when the tussocks grow thick and I lie in you to hush the sound of you, and that breeze comes back around to blow just for a second, making me think I should move? I hear you, and I'm heavy, wet now. You cradle my head. You throw a sky dyed orange as the clouds begin to set. It's happening again. Okay. Again, thank you to Ryan and Jared. They're different people. And for all of you for coming and hanging out listening. The last poem is called In Black and White. Who else is really trying to fuck with Hollywood endings? The clipped, finished, sealed with a kiss and dipped in dark chocolate ganache. I've stuck my hand into the bonbon box too many times. The Juliet costume won't fit my body. Yet dear Romeo's a pair of socks. One size fits most. And we all die so many times before our deaths. I huff on all my last orgasmic breaths. So, death, take off your shoes, stretch, sigh, and take me from behind and check the paw prints on my back. They'll climb away from you. There is no time to mess around. Quick, clip my neck with your grim reaper teeth and keep your hood on, hun, until we throw our costumes on the floor for show, expose ourselves as one big heap of bone and flesh and bone. With luck, you'll clip me hard, and I'll shout day, Ave Maria, and people will say if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, that girl's going to hell. Please, can I hold your scythe? And if I don't go to hell, can you say it's that you won't take me? A spade's a spade. A plan can change. I love your pivot, covet your line, pin, point, arbor, and shaft. And I can dig it. Feel that draft? Come close. Now tell me how you love it. Thank you.